A very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for joining us for TV47 at 1. I'm Wakio Mzenge. We begin with the issue. The National Cohesion and Integration Commission has summoned Homa Bay Town MP Peter Kaluma to appear before it on Wednesday over remarks he allegedly made at a political gathering in Homa Bay County. The commission says Kaluma is required to assist the ongoing investigations into the remarks, which it says could have heightened political tensions ahead of the 2027 general election. NCIC has warned that failure to appear before the commission could result in Kaluma's arrest. The commission is investigating remarks allegedly directed at people opposed to President William Ruto's re-election, including calls to deal with those campaigning for a one-term presidency. The remarks were made ahead of a Linda Mwananchi political rally in Homa Bay on Sunday, August the 16th. The rally was marred by violence, with reports of roads being blocked and also private property being looted. The disruptions forced the opposition group to alter its route into parts of the county. NCIC has warned that escalating political intolerance and violence could threaten national cohesion and push the country towards lawlessness. The Kenya Health Summit has officially opened at the KICC in Nairobi, with President William Ruto presiding over the launch. The summit is showcasing key transformations in the health sector under the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, highlighting how a whole of government and whole of society approach is driving change. Discussions are focusing on universal health coverage, UHC, healthcare financing through the Social Health Authority (SHA), the digitization of healthcare systems, and strengthening local manufacturing of medicines and vaccines. The summit underscores Kenya's commitment to building a resilient, inclusive, and innovative health system for the future.
The Primary Healthcare Act strengthened preventive and community healthcare while mainstreaming the place of our community health promoters. The Social Health Insurance Act replaced NHIF with SHA and established dedicated funds for primary healthcare, social health insurance, and emergency chronic and illness. The Digital Health Act established an integrated digital health system, and the Facilities Improvement Financing Act enabled public health facilities to retain and reinvest their revenues. Together, they transformed our healthcare in terms of financing, delivered and accounted for in Kenya, created the architecture through which we would finally translate Article 43 of our Constitution from a constitutional promise into everyday reality. We call this undertaking Taifa Care, as you all know. What followed has been transformational. And I would argue that alongside affordable housing, universal health coverage is one of the most consequential social transformations we have undertaken as a country. This achievement belongs, above all, to the people of Kenya. It is through your contributions, your taxes, and your participation that we have been able to make possible what our country has aspired for generations. Kwa hivyo, Taifa Care sio zawadi ya serikali kwa wananchi. ni mfumo ambao Wakenya wenyewe wamejijengea kupitia kwa mchango wao wa mawazo, mchango wao wa pesa na kwa ushirikiano ya Wakenya wote. I consider it one of the greatest privileges of my public service to have been entrusted in our time with helping turn that national aspiration into reality. Across the country today, 107,800 community health promoters are going from household to household, equipped with smartphones and essential kits to find illness before illness becomes a catastrophe, to register households, educate families, screen for disease, monitor mothers and children, identify danger early, and connect families to facilities. More than 9 million households have been reached by our community health promoters, and over 750,000 people have been referred for treatment. For the first time, we have built a nationwide health network whose first point of contact is not necessarily a hospital bed, but the doorsteps of a Kenyan home. We are reversing the old logic of waiting for people to fall sick, finding hypertension before stroke, diabetes before complication, a high-risk pregnancy before the emergency, and disease before disaster. The national government continues to match county government contribution to CHP or community health promoter stipends shilling by shilling. From this level, when a patient...
And now Homa Bay Town Member of Parliament Peter Kaluma is currently addressing the media days after he was accused of spreading inflammatory remarks. Let's cross over to Parliament and listen in.
He's the guy the DCI said jumped out of the vehicle which was intercepted headed to Homa Bay from Kisumu through the window. That, I will also be confirming to you, is a pretense. The police know where he is. Lennox Omondi, who is always with James Orengo and also blogs for him. There is a gentleman, a thug called Vincent, but also called Mungiki, from Manyata Estate in Kisumu. There is Otusa from Manyata Estate, Kisumu. There is one called Chumbinyiri, a well-known murderer from Manyata, Kisumu. There is Mose, another well-known murderer who has undergone several murder trials and is still undergoing some, also from Manyata, Kisumu. There is Omar from Kondele, a person who has been accused of robbery with violence and is currently facing trials for robbery with violence in several cases across the country. There is Owele, Commander. There is Eze from Nyalenda. There is Festus, a well-known murderer currently in hiding, having multiple cases also and undergoing trial. There is Charo, currently having multiple murder cases. There is Ferrari from Baraka, Manyata, Kisumu. There is Aguambo from Baraka, Manyata, Kisumu.
While that is going on in Parliament, investigations into the recent violence have taken a new turn as Oliver Jaoko, alias Olivetti, who was on police radar over the violence witnessed in Homa Bay at the weekend, arrived at the Directorate of Criminal Investigations accompanied by opposition leaders. The leaders, including James Orengo and Babu Owino, insist they are victims of violence, even as some of their supporters face accusations linked to the unrest. Another suspect is also expected to present himself at the DCI, accompanied by Linda Mwananchi leaders. Let us cross over live and listen to what is going on at the DCI headquarters.
There is, and is the killer who works mostly with Olivati whenever you...
What make it possible for them to barricade roads? If you try to barricade this Nairobi-Kiambu road, even for a minute, the police will be there to make sure that the roads are opened up. But in Homa Bay, for a period of 24 hours, nobody could access some of the major centers in Homa Bay. And it was happening because of the participation of the national government. And it's no longer about Murkomen and those characters. It's about Ruto, because he's the one who has made these things happen. As far as my friend Oliver here is concerned, this is my friend. I'm not just his lawyer, I am his friend. And I don't hide whenever we go anywhere. There are many places we go to and he sits together with me in the same car. It's no secret. This is a law-abiding citizen. They have tried to plant many things on him. Even a month ago I was in court about a matter which has been going on for 2-3 years on trumped-up charges. So I don't want to lie to the public that I don't know him. Up to last week, I did not have government security. For 3 months, I've not had security. And that was being done deliberately to scare me. So here we come with Oliver, with Babu Owino, and we say this is a citizen, a patriot, and is prepared to answer any questions. Right now, we don't have a summons. He has not been served with any summons other than the word that is out there. There is no invitation. There is no warrant of arrest. We are not aware of whether the police have gone to court to get a warrant of arrest to be served on him or executed against him. So we come with him as lawyers and a friend. And to make sure that we demonstrate that we are friends even at a family level, we come with his dear wife here. We have come with his wife. And their residence in Kisumu is known. Anytime we have coffee and tea as good friends. And I want to tell Ruto, please, don't weaponize the agencies of the state, particularly the police and the NIS, to harass people, to intimidate people. Don't weaponize. You are making Kenya become a police state, and we have been there before. Don't use the law and the courts to harass and intimidate law-abiding citizens of this country. And we have been on this route before. The mighty systems that were there before fell when the Kenyan people said that enough is enough. So today I want to say that we are ready and prepared to take any challenge, violent or otherwise, from the state. This is state terror. And when there's state terror, we must express our outrage and resist state terror. If you look at the American Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, and the preamble to our Constitution, we are allowed to resist a state that is oppressing its citizens in any lawful way we can. And we're going to resist. This is state terror. This is state terror that is being pushed on us by President Ruto. And he must bear responsibility and accountability. during the many commissions that were established after the post-election violence in 2007, they talked about signals of rigging elections, and one of them was by creating this kind of disorder to make it impossible to have an atmosphere for free and fair elections. I think President Ruto is trying to prepare us for the postponement of elections, or bringing lawlessness to make it possible for him to rig the elections. That is not going to be possible. We will use all lawful means to resist it. So I want to encourage Oliver's wife, who has undergone a lot of suffering. Sometimes when Oliver is arrested, she's the one who, on a daily basis.
Meanwhile, the Orange Democratic Movement has condemned the violence that disrupted the Linda Mwananchi tour in Homa Bay County, leaving people dead and injured and property damaged. The party says political differences must never be used to justify intimidation, lawlessness, or the denial of citizens' democratic rights. ODM has described the incidents as a serious breakdown of order, insisting that political competition must remain peaceful, democratic, and issue-based. The party says every Kenyan has a right to assemble, associate, and express political views without fear of violence or intimidation. ODM has also distanced itself from any individuals or groups that may seek to use the party's name to justify violence, stressing that it does not support or tolerate political violence. The party has conveyed condolences to the families of those who lost their lives and wished the injured a speedy recovery. It is now calling on security and investigative agencies to conduct a prompt, impartial, and professional investigation into the incidents and hold those responsible to account. And now we take a short break after that, but don't go too far. We'll be coming back with more of the happenings around us.
No more excuses. It's time to rise, grind, and own your mornings. Join Coach Shadrach Oma from 5:30 to 6 a.m. only on TV47. Full body workouts, zero equipment, maximum results. Start strong, stay strong. TV47 Fitness with Coach Shadrach only on TV47. Fridays, 3:30 p.m.
Ready? Go! No way!
Oh, no. That's the way you're feeling, I guess.
No, not that! Look!
Stand back. I'll get you out of there. Power of red! Fire blast! Ooh, big word. You are smart.
Now you're getting it.
Trust me! Guess we're here.
Vault the Wonder Deer. Fridays, 3:30 p.m. on TV47. Sundays at 8:30 p.m.
Good morning.
Welcome back. This is TV47 at 1. And now let's move to Laikipia, where residents of Kiamariga in Salama Ward, Laikipia West, are facing a severe water shortage after the Kiamariga River, their main water source for years, dried up. The residents are now forced to rely on the little water remaining in the river, sharing the same source with livestock, a situation that threatens their health and farming activities. They're calling on the government to fast-track the construction of the proposed dam, which they believe could provide a lasting solution to the water crisis.
Water is life. But for the residents of Kiamariga River in Salama Ward, Laikipia West, the saying has become a daily struggle due to severe clean water shortage.
Maji yenye huwa tunakunywa sisi wakaaji wa Kiamariga
The Kiamariga River, which for years has been a lifeline for residents for both domestic use and farming, is now at risk of drying up completely after its water levels dropped significantly, leaving large sections of the riverbed dry.
So hapa tumekuwa na shida ya maji kwa sababu tumekuwa tukitumia huu mto tangu tulipokuja hapa tulipozaliwa na wazazi wetu walitulea wakitumia maji ya huu mto.
The situation has forced residents to rely on the little water remaining in the river, often sharing the same source with livestock. This has raised concerns over their health as residents are forced to consume contaminated water despite the risk of waterborne diseases.
Ukiangalia watu tuko naye, tunawapea maji kuna uchafu. Kwa sababu unakuta ng'ombe inaingia huko, wanyama wanaingia huko, wadudu wanaingia huko na ndio tunapea watoto.
Kama mimi natoka huko upande nikienda sheki kutoka huko Karae na kuja maji kwa hii mtu yenye mnaona nimesimama. Kwa hivyo tuko na shida sana.
Residents attribute the dwindling water levels to increased farming activities along water sources and to the effects of climate change, saying they have no reliable alternative water source.
Shida ya maji inatokana juu hii mto ya Kiamariga inalima sehemu kubwa kutoka huko juu mpaka huko chini.
Nilikuwa nalima eka 6 eka 22 ya shamba na saa hii nimepunguza mpaka eka 5.
With the water crisis worsening, residents are now making an urgent appeal to the county government to fast-track construction of proposed dam, which they regard as their best hope for a lasting solution.
Sasa tunaomba serikali kama tunaweza chibua boreholes, tuletea hata hii maji ya mfereji tuweke huko nyumbani.
Tunaomba serikali yetu, tuko na mahali tumetenga na tumepeana proposal ya Kiamariga Dam. Maji iweze kufungwa, ikae pale, wakati wa mvua hiyo maji yenye inapotea iwekwe pale, tuitumie baadaye na ukulima na pamoja na ufugaji na matumizi ya nyumbani.
And health experts from Africa and Asia are meeting in Nairobi to address the growing burden of heart disease and diabetes, particularly in low and middle income countries. The 4-day meeting is focusing on affordable treatment, new approaches to care, and stronger regional collaboration as chronic diseases continue to take a heavy toll on lives and households. The meeting has brought together medical professionals to share research, examine practical treatment options, and explore ways of making care more accessible.
So gladly
we want to do, one is research, collaborate in terms of research, collaborate on how we're going to be able to influence policy with each of our governments to be able to change the approach we have towards the non-communicable diseases. You know, for the longest time, most of the research that was being done was focusing on HIV and TB. Now we are finding these patients are living longer and developing now these non-communicable diseases.
There's nothing that you can do without a healthy population. And therefore, our interest as healthcare workers and as nationals is to make sure that a healthy population is at the center of any discussion about our future as Kenyans, about our development.
We all know that all these diseases, cardiology and diabetes and kidney disease, many things are common origin and common similar origin. And in the management also, we all have to common some knowledge, basic knowledge on each subject. I'm a cardiologist and someone is endocrinologist. We cannot treat the patient individually because patients come to us with so many diseases.
And a section of Mount Kenya elders from the Kikuyu community in Kirinyaga County have rejected attempts to divide the wider Mount Kenya region into east and west political blocs, warning that the push risks creating unnecessary divisions for political gain. The elders from Kiama say Kirinyaga remains firmly part of a united Mount Kenya region and insist that no one has the mandate to politically reclassify parts of the country, including Mwea and Gishugu, without the consent of residents. They have also dismissed a recent meeting by another group of elders that appear to support the proposed separation, saying political decisions affecting Kirinyaga should be left to elected leaders and the people.
Yangu niko na machungu nyingi sana kwa watu wa Embu. Iko mzee wa Embu kwa sababu ni minister, anataka kukatakata Kirinyaga. Anasema Geshogo na Mwea ati itaenda Embu. Hiyo kitu tumekataa na tumesema tunasema Kirinyaga tuko na leaders, tumechagua magavana, tuko na MP na tuko na county commissioner wa Kirinyaga. Kirinyaga tumejipanga already, tuko na watu wetu wale wanasimamia Kirinyaga. Wao wanatoka Embu, wanatoka wakiwa nani? Wale wanasema Kirinyaga wataingia kama nani? Sisi watu wa Kirinyaga tumekataa, tukiwa wazee wa Kirinyaga tumesimama imara kusema Kirinyaga iko imara, na tunajua mpaka wetu ni kutoka Sagana mpaka Rubingasi. Hiyo maneno mengine tunaletewa, hiyo ni maneno ya fujo, na ule mtu anataka fujo asilete Kirinyaga.
Sisi watu wa Kirinyaga County tumekataa mtu yote kutoka huko nje ya Kirinyaga akunje agawanye Kirinyaga. Tumekataa hiyo sababu tunajua bondari zetu.
A narrow court has sought clarity on an accused man allegedly holding Kenyan, Somali and Canadian citizenships as he faces fraud charges linked to a property deal. Abdi Nasir Sheikh Osman is accused of allegedly concealing a material fact to include Abdi Haj Gulaid to accept a letter of allotment with intent to defraud. Senior resident magistrate Wakugwa Wahinya has given the prosecution 2 weeks to furnish the court with details of Osman's citizenship and passport, with Osman expected to appear in person on the 8th of September as the court moves to establish his citizenship status.
HP 615 to hold a trial that never.
The issues that they have been raised, I think that this year, as we had said, we have already done our part. We have written letters that we have sought 2 weeks to come back with a response. Therefore, in the meantime, we can wait until those 2 weeks are over and we come back.
There is a risk concern that the accused person is holding 3 passports. Kenyan, Canadian, and Somali passports. I direct that prosecution to establish about that information. That is the position said above. The prosecution is granted 2 weeks to furnish the court with the same information. Meanwhile, the accused person.
And Zambian President Hakainde Hichilema has secured a second term after winning 60% of the vote in last week's presidential election, according to the Electoral Commission. His main challenger, former Provincial Minister Brian Mundubile, finished second with about 38%. The poll was largely peaceful on election day, but the campaign period was marred by opposition claims of intimidation, arrests, violence, and electoral irregularities. Hichilema, who came to power in 2021, defeated a field of 13 candidates in a contest that put his first 5 years in office under scrutiny.
I therefore declare Hichilema Hakainde S. to be President-elect